The bar was dim, smoky, and smelled like stale beer and broken dreams. It was the kind of New York City dive where nobody looked twice at a guy like Walter Bruce Willis, a 20-something nobody pouring shots behind the counter. Born March 19, 1955, in Idar-Oberstein, West Germany, to a German mom and an American soldier dad, Bruce was a Jersey boy through and through, raised in Penns Grove, where the air carried the hum of factory life. His dad welded steel, his mom worked at a bank, and young Bruce? He was a theater kid with a stutter, the kind of guy who'd crack wise to mask the nerves that came with speaking. High school drama club was his sanctuary, where he found he could slip into a character and make the words flow smooth as whiskey. By the late 70s, Bruce was hustling in New York, bartending at Cafe Central, a haunt for actors and dreamers. He was a charmer, all sly grins and quick quips, the kind of guy who'd comp your drink if you had a good story. One night, a casting director spotted him, not for his pour, but for his presence. Raw, unpolished, magnetic. "You ever act?" the guy asked, swirling a martini. Bruce, wiping down the bar, shrugged. "Some off-Broadway stuff." "Why?" That question changed everything. A bit part in a movie here, a walk-on there. And suddenly Bruce was in the game, landing a role in 1980's The First Deadly Sin, uncredited, but he was there, a speck in Sinatra's shadow. Then came Moonlighting. It was 1985, and ABC was desperate for a hit. The show was a gamble, a rom-com detective dramedy with Sybil Shepherd as Maddie Hayes, a glamorous ex-model, and Bruce as David Addison, a fast-talking PI with a chip on his shoulder and a heart of gold. Bruce wasn't the first choice. Hell, he wasn't even the 10th. But he walked into that audition, all confidence and charisma, and owned it. The chemistry with Shepherd was electric, like lightning in a bottle. The show was a smash, running from 85 to 89, earning Bruce 3 Golden Globe nods and 2 Emmy nominations. He was David Addison, the wise ass who could make you laugh, cry, or swoon with a single line. "You know, Maddie, life's like a jazz riff. Sometimes you just gotta improvise," he'd say, and America ate it up. But Bruce wasn't just a TV star. He had bigger dreams. Hollywood was calling, and he was ready to answer. The 80s were a pressure cooker of action flicks. Stallone, Schwarzenegger, guys built like tanks. Bruce wasn't that. He was 6 feet, lean, with a receding hairline and a smirk that said, "I know something you don't." That's what made Die Hard a game-changer. In 1988, director John McTiernan cast Bruce as John McClane, a New York cop stuck in a Los Angeles skyscraper, fighting off Hans Gruber's goons. It wasn't just an action movie, it was a revolution. McClane wasn't a superhero. He was a guy who bled, cursed, and laughed in the face of death. "Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker," Bruce growled, and a legend was born. The film grossed $140 million on a $28 million budget, and Bruce Willis, the bartender from Jersey, was now an action hero. His rise wasn't all smooth, though. The early 90s brought flops like The Bonfire of the Vanities and Hudson Hawk, where he played a cat burglar in a quirky mess that tanked hard. Critics tore him apart, but Bruce didn't blink. He doubled down, starring in The Last Boy Scout in 91, a gritty action flick that found a cult following. He was learning the game, balancing bombs with gems. By 94, a call from a young director named Quentin Tarantino would change his trajectory again. Pulp Fiction was coming, and Bruce was about to show the world he was more than just a tough guy. Character count, 5000. Part 2, The Renaissance Man. Bruce Willis stood at a crossroads in 1994, his career a mix of hits and misses. Die Hard had made him a star, but flops like Hudson Hawk had critics whispering he was a one-trick pony. Enter Quentin Tarantino, a video store clerk turned auteur with a script that was pure dynamite. Pulp Fiction was a mosaic of crime, redemption, and weirdness, and Bruce was cast as Butch Coolidge, a washed-up boxer with a heart and a gold watch he'd kill to keep. It wasn't the lead role. That went to John Travolta, but Bruce stole every scene he was in. His Butch was tough, yet tender, a man wrestling with honor in a world of scumbags. The pawnshop scene? Brutal, iconic, unforgettable. The film was a cultural earthquake, grossing $213 million and earning 7 Oscar nods. Bruce's career got a jolt, proving he could do more than shoot bad guys. The mid-90s were Bruce's golden age. He wasn't just an action star. He was a chameleon. In 12 Monkeys, 1995, he played James Cole, a time traveler haunted by a future apocalypse. Terry Gilliam, the director, handed Bruce a list of Willisisms to avoid. No smirks, no squinting. Bruce delivered, raw and vulnerable, his breakdown to Louis Armstrong's "What a Wonderful World" a gut punch. The film was a critical darling, cementing his range. Then came The Fifth Element, 1997, Luc Besson's sci-fi romp. Bruce's Corbin Dallas, a cabbie saving the universe, was equal parts grit and goof, grounding a wild world of flying taxis and blue-skinned divas. "I am a meat popsicle," he deadpanned, and audiences roared. The movie made $263 million, a cult classic in the making. But Bruce wasn't done surprising people. In 1999, he teamed with M. Night Shyamalan for The Sixth Sense, playing Dr. Malcolm Crowe, a child psychologist grappling with a kid who sees dead people. Bruce's performance was quiet, heartbreaking, carrying the weight of a man haunted by failure. The twist, oh, that twist, made the film a phenomenon, grossing $672 million and earning 6 Oscar nods. Bruce followed it with Unbreakable, 2000, another Shyamalan joint, as David Dunn, a regular guy discovering he's a superhero. His subtle, grounded acting made the fantastical feel real, and fans still call it his best work. He wasn't afraid to take risks. Death Becomes Her, 1992, saw him as a nebbish plastic surgeon, a comedic departure alongside Meryl Streep and Goldie Hawn. Sin City, 2005, had him as Hartigan, a noir cop with a battered soul, proving he could carry Frank Miller's gritty world. Even his voice work shone. RJ the Raccoon in Over the Hedge, 2006, was a sly, charming con artist. Bruce was everywhere, from blockbusters like Armageddon, 1998, which grossed $553 million, to indie gems like Moonrise Kingdom, 2012. He even tried Broadway in 2015's Misery, though critics called his performance inert. Still, he was game, always pushing. Off-screen, Bruce was just as complex. He married Demi Moore in 1987, and they became Hollywood's power couple, raising 3 daughters, Rumor, Scout, and Tallulah. Their split in 2000 was amicable, but his 2004 breakup with fiancée Brooke Burns stung. He found love again with model Emma Hemming in 2009, marrying her in a Caribbean ceremony and welcoming 2 more daughters. Through it all, he stayed grounded, a guy who'd rather grill burgers than chase paparazzi. He supported the troops, buying 12,000 boxes of Girl Scout cookies for soldiers in 2002 and visiting Iraq with his band, The Accelerators, in 2003. Bruce Willis wasn't just a star. He was a man who lived big, loved hard, and never stopped swinging. Character count, 5000. Part 3, The Twilight of a Titan. By the 2010s, Bruce Willis was a Hollywood institution, his name synonymous with action, charm, and that trademark smirk. But the industry was changing. Superhero flicks and CGI spectacles were crowding out the everyman hero. Bruce, now in his 50s, could have coasted on Die Hard sequels, but he wasn't that guy. He dove into a mix of projects, some brilliant, some baffling. Looper, 2012, was a high point, with Bruce as Old Joe, a time-traveling hitman facing his younger self, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. His performance was intense, layered with regret, and the film earned $176 million in critical praise. Fans called it a return to form, a reminder of the Bruce who could carry a story with just a look. But the cracks were showing. The 2010s saw Bruce take on a slew of direct-to-video flicks, low-budget actioners like Vice, 2015, and Extraction, 2015. These weren't Pulp Fiction. They were shot fast, often in a week, with Bruce on set for a day or two, earning a cool $1 million per gig. He'd show up, growl some lines, and vanish. Fans on Reddit were brutal. What's up with Bruce Willis? These movies are straight-to-Redbox trash. Some posted. Others speculated he was cashing checks to fund retirement or maybe just bored. The truth was darker, but nobody knew it yet. From 2018 to 2022, he churned out 22 films, most panned, some unwatchable. The Golden Raspberry Awards even created a Worst Bruce Willis Performance category in 2021, targeting his output like Cosmic Sin and Breach. Behind the scenes, things were unraveling. Crew members noticed Bruce seemed off. On the set of Hard Kill in 2020, He reportedly fired a blank-loaded gun on the wrong cue, shaking everyone. No one was hurt, but whispers spread. Directors like Jesse V. Johnson, who worked with him on White Elephant, saw a man struggling. He was just being puppet, a crew member said. Bruce would ask, "Why am I here?" His confusion palpable. His lines were fed through an earpiece or shortened to fit his fading focus. His management team, a powerhouse at CAA, kept his schedule tight. 2-day shoots, 4-hour days. To outsiders, it looked like laziness. To those close, it was something else. In March 2022, the truth hit like a gut punch. Bruce's family, Demi, Emma, and his daughters, announced he was retiring due to aphasia, a language disorder caused by brain damage. Fans were stunned. The guy who'd outsmarted terrorists in Nakatomi Plaza couldn't string sentences together? Social media lit up with tributes. Die Hard is eternal, one Redditor wrote. Others shared clips from Moonlighting, mourning the fast-talking David Addison. But the diagnosis was just the start. In February 2023, the family revealed it was frontotemporal dementia, FTD, a brutal disease attacking language and personality. Emma later told Town & Country that Bruce's childhood stutter masked early signs. "It whispers, doesn't shout," she said of FTD. Bruce was stable but fading, his days of wisecracks and heroics over. The late career films took on a new light. Was Bruce exploited, propped up by producers chasing his name? Reddit threads buzzed with theories. They wheeled him out for cash grabs, one user wrote. Others defended him, saying he worked to secure his family's future, with a net worth estimated at $250 million. He'd always been a family man, from his days with Demi to his life with Emma and their girls. Those 22 films, flawed as they were his final fight, not for glory, but for legacy. Character count, 5000. Part 4. The Legacy of a Legend. Bruce Willis sat on a porch in 2025, the California sun warm on his face. At 70, he was a shadow of the man who'd once lit up screens, but his eyes still held a spark. Frontotemporal dementia had stolen his words, his quick wit, but not his spirit. His family surrounded him. Emma, their daughters Mabel and Evelyn, and his older girls, Rumor, Scout, and Tallulah. Demi Moore, ever a friend, checked in often. "He's stable," she told CNN in December 2024, her voice steady but heavy. "You meet him where he's at." Tallulah, on Today, called it painful but full of love. They shared photos, Bruce pointing at something distant, smiling with Scout, his head resting against hers. To the world, he was John McClane, Butch Coolidge, Corbin Dallas. To them, he was Dad. His career, spanning over 100 films and $5 billion in box office, was a roller coaster. Die Hard redefined action heroes, making the everyman a badass. Pulp Fiction and The Sixth Sense showed his depth, while The Fifth Element and 12 Monkeys proved he could bend genres like a pretzel. Even his flops, Hudson Hawk, anyone? Had a charm, a swing for the fences audacity. Fans on Reddit still argued over his best role. Unbreakable's David Dunn, no question, one wrote. "Nah, the last Boy Scouts got the one-liners," another countered. Moonlighting fans waxed nostalgic about David Addison's charm, while Sin City diehards praised Hartigan's grit. Bruce was a mirror. Everyone saw something different in him. His final years in Hollywood sparked debate. The straight-to-video schlock, Detective Night, Cosmic Sin, drew ire, but knowing his diagnosis, fans softened. He was fighting for his family, a Redditor posted. Others weren't so kind. Producers used him like a prop. The truth likely lay in the middle. Bruce, ever practical, knew his time was short. With a fortune built on blockbusters, he took every gig, banking millions per film to ensure his daughters' futures. His work ethic was Jersey stubborn, the same grit that got him from a dive bar to the top. Beyond the screen, Bruce left marks. He supported foster kids as a national spokesman in 2002, sent cookies to troops, and jammed with his band, the Accelerators, for soldiers in Iraq. He was a guy who'd thank a fan in German at a restaurant, a nod to his roots. His 1987 album, The Return of Bruno, was a quirky R&B side quest, showing he didn't take himself too seriously. Even his 2018 Comedy Central roast, where he took jabs with a grin, showed a man at ease with his legend status. As Bruce faded from public view, Hollywood reflected on his impact. Die Hard remained a Christmas staple, quoted endlessly. "Come out to the coast, we'll have a few laughs." The Sixth Sense's twist still shocked new viewers. The Fifth Element played at retro screenings, fans chanting "Super Green." His peers paid tribute. Travolta called him a brother. Shyamalan credited him with launching his career. On Reddit, a user summed it up. Bruce made you believe a regular guy could save the day. That's his magic. Bruce Willis's story isn't just about fame. It's about a kid who stuttered, fought, and charmed his way to the top, only to face a foe no gun could stop. His legacy isn't in the box office or the Razzies. It's in the moments he gave us, the lines we quote, the heroes we rooted for. As he sits on that porch, surrounded by love, Bruce remains what he always was, a fighter, a father, a damn good time at the movies. Yippee-ki-yay.